Hello viewers, welcome back to my channel. So let's start today's topic. So today we are discussing about planting trees concept. So actually here we have three cases. So if you remember these three cases pictures, that's more than enough. So you can do any questions related to this topic. Okay, so let's learn what are the three cases we have here. So let's take our first case. If trees are planted at regular intervals with the time with trees planted at opposite ends of the road. Okay, so what do you mean by this? Means trees are planted at regular intervals with trees planted at the opposite ends of the road. Means we can find the trees at the opposite ends of the road. Then these are the three things that we need to find out in this case. The first one is number of trees. So if you see here, the number of intervals are 3 and the number of trees are 4. So the number of trees is equal to, it depends upon number of intervals, so number of intervals plus 1. Okay, so this is the number of intervals. This is one interval. Okay, you need to add 1 to know the number of trees. Okay, so the next we have length of the road, so which is equal to number of intervals times size of the each interval. So how to find out the total length of the road? So what we need to do, we need to find out number of intervals and then we need to multiply the size of the each interval. Okay, and the next we have number of intervals. So how many intervals we have? So again it depends upon like length of the road and the size of the each interval. So if you divide length of the road with the size of the interval, then we will get the number of intervals. Of course in this scenario, so if you do number of trees minus 1 also, we will get the number of intervals. Okay, so that's how we need to find out these values in this scenario if the trees are planted at the opposite ends of the road. Okay, so if we don't have opposite ends or if we have only one end, then how to do it? So that's the second case. If trees are planted at regular intervals with a tree planted at one end of the road. Okay, so means only one end we got tree and another end we don't have any tree at all. So in that scenario, how you can calculate number of trees, length of the road and number of intervals? Number of trees is equal to number of intervals. Here the number of intervals and the number of trees are same. Length of the road is equal to number of intervals times size of the each interval. So this is the common formula throughout all the cases. To find out the length of the road, we need to find out the total number of intervals, how many we have, and the size of the each interval. So next we have number of intervals. Number of intervals is equal to length of the road divided by size of the each interval. Okay, and next in the last case, if the trees are planted at regular intervals without trees planted at opposite end of the road. So here we have one case, we don't have any end trees on both sides. So in that case, how we need to find out the number of trees? So here number of trees is equal to number of intervals minus 1. So to get the trees, we need to subtract 1 from the number of intervals, and the length of the road formula is common, number of intervals times size of the each interval, and number of intervals is equal to length of the road divided by size of the each interval. So that's how we will get it all the values. So here all are same except our number of trees and number of intervals concepts. I mean, for number of trees, sometimes we need to add plus 1, sometimes we need to add minus 1, sometimes we need to make it equal. So in different scenario it is different. Okay, so we just need to concentrate on that. Rest of the two formulas are same throughout all the cases, so no need to worry. So just we should careful about number of trees. Okay, so that's all about these three cases. So if you can remember these three case pictures, then that's more than enough for this chapter. So we can do any kind of questions with the help of these three cases. Let's see few questions how we can solve, how they are going to ask. So the stretch of a road leading to Cindy's house is to be planted with some trees at regular intervals of 15 meters and trees are planted at opposite ends of the road. If the road is 900 meters long, how many trees to be planted along the stretch of road? Okay, so this is a stretch of road. So we have total length of the road is 900 meters and each regular interval of 15 meters. So this data he has given. What he is asking, how many number of trees are to be planted along the stretch of the road. So okay, number of trees depends upon number of intervals. So let's find out number of intervals first, then we can find out the number of trees. Number of intervals is equal to length of the road divided by size of the each interval, then we will get the total number of intervals. So once we got the total number of intervals, it reflects our case 1 scenario. So their number of trees is equal to number of intervals plus 1. Okay, so let's find out number of intervals, which is equal to 900 meters by 15 meters. Okay, so then cancel. So 900 by 15, which is equal to 60. Okay, so number of intervals is equal to 60. We have 60 intervals. Then number of trees is equal to 60 plus 1, which is equal to 61. So number of trees, how many we have? 61. So number of trees is equal to 60 number of intervals plus 1, which is equal to 61. So that's how we will get it, number of trees. So it's a case 1, which is very easy. So let's see next one. 2 pine trees are planted at regular intervals of 5 meters along a stretch of a road with pine trees planted at opposite ends of the road. If the road is 150 meters long, so opposite ends we can find the trees. Okay, and in between also we have some trees. It's like case 1 scenario. If the road is 150 meters long, how many pine trees are needed to be planted along the road? Okay, so again he is asking how many trees, and it reflects our case 1 scenario where they planted 2 trees at the end of the road, and total length of the road is 150 meters and regular interval between 2 trees is 5 meters. So that's also we need to mention. So let's find out the first number of intervals, then we will find out the number of trees. So same like our earlier question, number of intervals is equal to 150 meters by 5 meters, so which is equal to 30. Okay, 30. 5 3s are 15, right? So 30, and the number of intervals we got 30. If number of intervals is equal to 30, then number of trees is equal to 30 plus 1. Okay, so how many trees must be planted? So we can plant 31 trees as it is a case 1 scenario. Okay, so let's do another question. I'll try to cover up all the scenarios. Let's do next question. 12 people standard in a queue. Okay, how many people are there? 12 people, and 4 pots of flower are placed between every 2 people. So every 2 people they kept 4 pots of flowers. How many pots of flowers are there altogether? So now we need to find out not total number of people. Here he had already given that. So we want what? Number of pots of flowers. So that is there between 2 people. Okay, so here the main thing we need to know about number of intervals. So if you know the number of intervals, then we can easily find out the how many parts of flowers we can keep. Among 12 people, how many intervals we will get it if they are keep like both the ends of the road? So like number of trees is equal to number of intervals plus 1, right? But here we don't want number of trees, actually we want number of intervals. So number of intervals is equal to number of trees minus 1. Okay, so what's the actual formula? Actual formula is number of trees is equal to number of intervals plus 1. So we need to add 1 to get number of trees. Now we don't want number of trees, we already know that value is 12. So we need to know number of intervals, which is equal to number of trees minus 1. So 12 minus 1, which is equal to 11. So now we got total how many intervals are there between people. So now we can find out number of pots of flowers. So number of pots of flowers is equal to 11 gaps are there. In this 11 we need to keep 4 pots, means 11 times 4. So total number of flower pots is equal to 11 times 4, which is equal to 44. So that's the answer. Okay, so that's it for today's class, and then we'll see you in the next class. So if you have any doubts, do let me know in the comment section. Bye bye. Thanks for watching. Don't forget, age is a just number. Happy learning.